Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, I'll just jiggle it out a bit. Start from start. All right, so we got engaged in early November, but probably in the 6 to 12 months before that, we'd discussed it a little bit, and there'd been the odd hint that maybe I should put a ring on it and all this sort of thing. And I had a huge plan in place that I was, stressing over and worrying about, and it would involve a trip to the hinterland. We'd lay out a red and white sort of rug, and we'd have wine, and it'd be this beautiful day, and I'd pop the question. But when it happened, it was pretty much Bianca was on the back hammock. She was reading some sort of romance book, and I popped out and was just talking to her a little bit, and we were just having a chat.
And Owen came over and he sort of said, "Honey, you look really beautiful today." And at that point in time, I was sort of like, yeah, that's good. I'm reading my book. And he sort of was standing there a bit awkward, and then he popped down on one knee, and it kind of took my brain a couple of seconds to register. And it was a day probably similar to today, where it was just beautiful weather. The rainforest back here looked beautiful, and I just sort of thought, I could spend the rest of my days basically doing just this, having a cup of tea, back deck, her on a hammock. We wouldn't even have to say too much. And he sort of said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? I think I even said something really awful, like I need to duck to the loo. I ducked into the back room, got the ring, came out and was confident in the answer, but was still incredibly nervous in asking. And I leaned over and whispered a few things about how much I loved her, and then I said, "Will you marry me?" And I said yes 1 million times, and got the ring out, and it was actually about 3 or 4, actually probably 5 or 6 sizes too big, but it was absolutely beautiful. Awkwardly pulled this bloody great big box from my pocket and opened it up and showed her, and she said yes.
You are the one true thing I know I can believe in.
He fills my heart with joy and understands me without having to utter a single word. A man who today I can call my husband, my best friend, my fellow world adventurer. Okay, I'm going to probably keep my speech quite short and sweet. I feel like you've all met her. I mean, I feel like you can understand it a little bit. I mean, she's stunning, passionate, she's strong and capable. To me, she's perfect.
I think it's the little areas where Bianca and Owen complement and balance each other out that I think tend to make a long-lasting marriage. Something that's similar to a jigsaw puzzle, where once it's complete, you can't see how it could have been done any other way.
I'll turn my back to the calling sun. If you're touch my arm and feel my burning for the day you left, for the elms above, to meet those birds a-singing.
That was it, and it was wonderful.